All parties in the matter of Daniels versus Sizemore. Step forward, please.
Homemaker Tammy Daniels is suing her ex-husband, factory worker George Sizemore, for his share of their son's funeral expenses. George says Tammy didn't consult him regarding the arrangements.
Ms. Daniels, the defendant is your former husband. You have 2 children together, or had 2 children together?
Yes, ma'am.
Your oldest son had been in the Marines.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was he stationed?
He was in Paris Island, and then he was went to Camp Lejeune, South Carolina.
He came back from the Marines, and tragically, he committed suicide.
Yes,
when
ma'am.
was that?
It was in Louisville, Kentucky.
When?
On July the 17th, 2004.
It is your claim that your former husband agreed to pay for half of certain funeral expenses, and he did not.
Yes.
That's what you're suing him for.
Yes, ma'am.
And your former husband says that he was not consulted with regard to things that you purchased, certain flowers, memorial stone, and he's not paying for it.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Okay. When did you make the arrangement, Mrs. Daniels, with Mr. Sizemore to pay certain of the funeral expenses?
My son died on July the 17th. My ex-husband come to my house. That was on a Saturday. My ex-husband come to my house on a Sunday with my husband and my son and my sister, and a few of my other family members was there, and we discussed the flowers. He helped pick out the flowers. We had a meeting Saturday when I found out my son died. We had to go to Grayson's funeral home, and we had to pick out the funeral service, the casket, and everything. It totaled up that day to be, just for the funeral service, $5,998.70.
What was the discussion about the flowers?
He agreed to pay half of them that
That's what I
Friday.
want to know. He agreed to pay for half.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were the flowers?
The flowers was $225.
And what else did he agree to pay for?
He agreed to pay half of the gravesite.
How much was the gravesite?
$400.
Who paid for that?
Me and my husband.
What else did he agree to pay for half of?
He agreed to pay half for the headstone.
Who picked out the headstone?
My sons.
Did Mr. Sizemore have any input in the headstone?
Yes, I called him that Saturday morning when we were going to look for the headstone and asked him if him and Mary would meet us up at the monument, and he said that he couldn't make it. I said, George, are you going to help me with our son's headstone and the money you owe us? And he said, I don't have the effing money.